What's going on, beautiful people? So I wanted to share something with you that I felt would be very useful for you, especially for those of you who have been contemplating a breakup, an ending of a relationship, whether you want to call it a completion, an uncoupling, a breakup. I wanted to speak into this because this is something that is so sensitive to the heart and requires the most gentle and compassionate navigation. And I would simply love to empower you to the best of my ability to make whatever decision is right for you. And the reason why I'm speaking into this is because I could feel a lot of these frequencies in the field. You know, a lot of you are in toxic relationships that you know need to end, but then there's the other wealth of you who are in relationships that you genuinely love. You're with people who you genuinely love, you genuinely care for, you genuinely have feelings for, and you're unsure whether or not this is the relationship for you. You know, whether you want to associate it to a past life relationship or a twin flame or a soulmate, doesn't matter. I'd like to cut the fluff and go right to the simplicity and the heart and the resonance of what will enable you to make a more empowered, inspired, and clear decision that's in the highest alignment for both you and whoever might be involved. All right, so first what I want to speak to, actually, since I mentioned soulmates and twin flames, is that your soulmate or your twin flame is not necessarily the person that you're meant to be with. And it's not necessarily that you're not. But there's just been this over exaggeration in the spiritual community around an overhype around the idea of soulmates and twin flames that people have put themselves in a kind of hypnosis, thinking that because they know that this is their twin flame relationship or soulmate relationship, that this has to be the one that they have to make things work with, even if they're having a really unhappy or challenging time. And in some cases, it is the person you're meant to be with. So what I want to shine light on is that your soulmate and your twin flame and whatever other label relationship you might have, because there's so much more than just that, what most matters is love, right? What most matters at the end of the day is love. Do you feel a sense of harmony with this person? Do you feel a sense of fulfillment with this person? Do you feel a sense of deep purpose with this person? Those are three qualities to look out for in your forever person, in an eternal relationship: total harmony, fulfillment, and deep purpose. And when I say total harmony, I don't mean that you'll never bump heads or you'll never have challenge with this person. What I mean is that there's a harmony in the dynamic very naturally, meaning that when you do go through things, when you do bump up against each other, you can go through those things passionately and with excitement and lightly, as opposed to it feeling like heavy and such a drag and such a process, right? You can expand harmoniously rather than disharmoniously. Because what a lot of people end up doing is they fight for harmony, which is a lot like fighting for peace, thinking that once I just need to release this thing, or they just need to shift that thing inside of them, or just tweak this thing, and then we'll have harmony, right? That's an endless loop. That's an illusion. If you're fighting or working for harmony, that goes against the definition of harmony. All right, so total harmony, deep purpose, and fulfillment. Those are the three requirements, the three qualities of an eternal relationship, if that's what you're going after. If you're going after a relationship that's expansive, that makes you feel like more of yourself, where you're always expanding and you're just exploding in love and joy and challenge with ease and grace and harmony. All right, so if that's your desire, then this is definitely the video for you. So the idea of soulmates and twin flames is simply to understand that it really depends on your evolution of where you're at as a soul. For some people, a soulmate is the highest relationship for this lifetime, and that is what they require. For others, it's a twin flame. For others, it's beyond. These are simply labels. So don't get caught up in the labels. Instead, understand more deeply what these labels mean. A soulmate, if we look at it clairvoyantly, a soulmate is simply the person who helps you to better become your own soul's mate. That's it. It could be your best friend, your lover, your worst enemy if you're experiencing more negative catalyst, but it's whoever helps you become more of your own soul's mate, to see more deeply in yourself, to get you out of your head, to see beyond the shame and the guilt that you may have had because you have suppressed desires and suppressed truths that you're not living. Your soulmate is going to put you in touch with the things that you have underneath your shame, underneath your guilt, underneath your doubt, so that you can feel the magic in your heart and your soul's true desires that chances are, if you're at that evolution of love, at this evolution of your relationship, you've shamed and you've labeled as bad. And so you haven't let yourself feel certain things. So your soulmate helps you become more of your own soul's mate, helps you feel more at home inside yourself, which allows for the garden, so to speak, for your inner gifts to blossom. This is your soulmate. Now, your twin flame, on the other hand, again, just speaking to the energies, your twin flame is the one who you most rise in your fire with. That's why twin flame. It's who you most rise in your fire with, who most ignites your passions. You'll often find that you have a lot of compatibilities in different areas, in friendship, in business, in sex, in all kinds of different realms, but you most rise in your fire with this person. And again, this could be your lover, it could be your best friend, it could be your business partner, and if you have a negative catalyst, it could be your worst enemy. So I just wanted to break down these frequencies so you could just look at it for what it is, as opposed to putting a forever label on it, meaning I found my twin flame, so I'm supposed to figure out how to stay here. Because then you're going into illusion and you're going into disempowerment. You have to be honest with yourself, because maybe you're with your twin flame, but you can feel deep in your heart of hearts that it's time to evolve beyond that relationship. Because in essence, if you do get to that point, a twin flame, by definition, is saying two, right? So it's the idea of needing two to come into completion. And again, for some, that's necessary. You know, you can't have a twin and only be one. So a twin flame is those who help you come into completion with yourself. And for certain souls, for certain of you, as you come into that completion or you go beyond it, you start to feel the call to go beyond needing a reflection in order to feel whole. In other words, instead of looking for your other half, your other half, you start to feel called towards your other whole. And this is what I just simply call love, where we strip away all the labels and we strip away all the ideas and simply devote ourselves to love, whether that's the soulmate, the twin flame, or otherwise. All right, so I hope that brings some clarity over there. Now, what I want to speak into is breakups, uncouplings, and completions. All right. This is a very sensitive topic, and so I'm going to speak to it very sensitively. So you might have deep feelings for someone, deep care, deep love, and you just truly, you might even feel at home with this person. What I want you to pay attention to is if, with all those feelings, if there is an undertone of doubt inside of you that you can't explain, not from a place of disempowerment, you know, because there's doubt that comes from nervousness, you know, like if you're about to get married, let's say, and then you're like, oh my God, am I ready for this? And it's more of a, you know, it's that kind of doubt. It comes from nervousness. I'm talking about, it's just this knowing. It's just this undertone of doubt that for some reason you can't shake, and you just have this feeling of what if. You have this feeling of there's greater for you for some reason that you can't explain logically. You know, this person might check off all the boxes, but for some reason, your spirit wants something else. Your heart may love this person, but your spirit wants something else. So if that is the case, if you can feel an undertone of doubt, regardless of what feelings you have for the person, genuine feelings, then what I want you to recognize is that what you're actually in a relationship with is doubt. You're not in a relationship with inspiration, with spirit in its fullest form. Now, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. You know, for some of you, I want to shine light on this so that you can make choices from a space of consciousness. There's no right or wrong. Both are valid. So for some of you, you might feel that undertone of doubt, and it's just a knowing doubt, because what that doubt is it's the polarity of inspiration. It's letting you know that there's greater inspiration available for you. This will be the reason why in your previous relationships that may have been good or not good, you also felt that undertone of doubt, like, it's not quite it. And when you chose to leave, you're like, oh, that feels so much better. And then you feel inspired again, and you're back in your relationship with spirit, which is your first relationship, your first marriage. This is what's meant when they say divine union. It's a union with the divine of you, within you, relationship with your spirit, all right, that many of us have been cheating on, right? But fortunately, our spirit has unconditional love. And so if you're feeling that undertone of doubt, you can still choose to have that relationship if you want. Meaning, if you still genuinely feel love and care and all these things for this person, and you just feel happy with them, even if there's ups and downs, even if sometimes you're not as attracted to them or whatever case may be, you can still choose to have a relationship with that person and be happy if you want. However, you might not feel as fulfilled as you would if you listened to your inner being. And I'm saying these words very carefully because I really want to honor whatever choice you make, and I don't want to impose in any way. So the thing to balance things off of, at least this is my perspective, is to ask yourself, total harmony, fulfillment, deep purpose. Does the person that you're with check off those boxes? Do you feel that inside yourself, and do you feel that with the other person? And if maybe maybe you feel a sense of deep purpose, but you don't feel fulfillment and harmony, not in the dynamic, and not in the relationship, then it's a matter of asking yourself, okay, well, is that a standard for me? Is that something that I need to have, that I won't settle for anything less for? Again, not judging yourself if you choose otherwise. Because if you put judgment on any decision, you're just going to create a negative charge there and make it harder to make whatever choice you want. You have to let both options be valid. You might say, you know what? I don't feel fully fulfilled here, but I am happy. And I do feel purpose. So I'm going to keep going in this direction. Just be honest with yourself with what that means rather than trying to think like you can make it something else. Now, on the other hand, if you're someone like me and you really care about having those three things, harmony, purpose, and fulfillment, then it's about asking yourself, are you in a relationship with doubt? If there's that undertone of doubt, are you in a relationship with doubt? And then asking yourself the question, what would you do if you had no doubt? If you didn't have any vibration of lack inside of you, meaning the thought that if you leave, I won't be able to find someone else, or what if I'll be in pain, or whatever case may be. Let's paint it a different way. If you knew that you're abundant, and you knew that synchronicity is going to take care of you, and you knew that you were going to meet someone who is a better match for you, would you leave? Would you love yourself and the other person enough to let go? Because that is a true act of love. Because if you're holding on, but you're living in a place of uncertainty, and you're always back and forth in your mind and your emotions about this person while you're figuring things out, not only are you suffering, but consciously or unconsciously, the other person is suffering. And so it is the greatest act of love to love yourself and to love the other by letting go. If you know that's your choice, if you know you're in a relationship with doubt and you no longer want to be, you prefer to be in a relationship with inspiration, right? That is wholeness. That is choosing the highest love possible. That is choosing to be your own 11 on 10, right? Recognizing that you are the one that you've been looking for and making life your wife or your husband. By virtue of doing so, by virtue of choosing love, by virtue of choosing to devote yourself to your spirit, you become your own true love and thus allow yourself to attract reflections of true love in partnership, friendship, opportunity, etc. But it comes from a place of wholeness where you are able to attract someone to share your happiness and wholeness with, as opposed to needing someone to make you happy and feel complete. There's a very big difference. All right, so it's just about choice. We're just bringing awareness here. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this is shining light and clarity, because I know this was a big game changer for me. You know, in one of my relationships, when I finally realized, and it took me months to realize that I was in a relationship with doubt. I only realized it because I had a dream, and the dream gave me a message. But I had so many genuine feelings for the person I was with, and I could see a future and I could see possibility, but there was always this knowing in my heart, in my spirit, that I'm meant to move on. There's something more for me, even though there's no logic to it. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage and boldness to have the audacity to live your truth in that way. And I'm simply someone who really cares about my ascension. I care about giving it my all in this lifetime, no matter what. And I love dancing with inspiration and synchronicity. It hurts sometimes, you know, you go through pains and fears and insecurities, but life will always support you when you choose your higher self. All right, so I hope this shined light on certain things for you, especially the whole thing with soulmates and twin flames, you know, because as I've said in one of my previous videos, I've been with my soulmate, I've been with my twin flame. For me, that is not the highest relationship for me. For you, it might be different. It's about paying attention to your calling. Strip away the labels, strip away the names that the spiritual society puts on you and the hype about things. Cut the fluff and tune back into your heart and spirit and ask yourself, what would you do if you had no doubt? If you knew life was abundant, which you do, and you knew everything would work out perfectly, and you would get exactly what your soul, your heart, your spirit requires, what would you do? That's your truth. And that's what you can choose to honor. I paused because I just remembered that something that Thoth taught me is that the word honor comes from the Atlantean word honaur, which literally ends up translating to owning our spirit. To honor your spirit is to own our spirit, to be whole, to be complete, and to attract reflections of such. All right, so I hope this video was useful. I hope it was helpful. And if it was, please go ahead and share it so that others can benefit, because I know relationships is a very sensitive topic. And you know what? No, I'm just going to speak to this very briefly, you know, because a lot of people go to psychics and healers and mystics to ask them, is this person my true love? And the psychic will often say yes or no, which I think is a little bit dangerous. You know, I really believe in reflecting truth to you so that you can feel the truth inside of you for yourself and make an empowered decision based off of your resonance. All right, so I hope this brings clarity to things. And again, if it does, if this was helpful, please go ahead and share it so that other people can rise in love. And please do leave me your comments. I love reading them. All right, so lots of love, guys. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to talking with you more soon. Peace.